U+2 restricts occupancy in residential dwelling units so that only one adult and no more than two unrelated people can live in the same home together. It also only allows one family, as defined in Section 5.1.2, which can be found on fcgov.com.
Over time, communities change, things change, affordability changes, all sorts of things change. And the fact of the matter is that ordinance hasn't grown or flexed with the time, right? We now feel like I'm very much committed to the idea that the government really shouldn't define a family. So that's always felt uncomfortable to me. So time for that to go. And I had this mantra, I said, never make a rule you can't enforce, because then no one will know which rules to follow and which rules not to, right? I use that idea a lot, especially for U+2. Don't have a law you can't enforce or that's so routinely violated that it makes people feel like they're living outside the bounds. Bring them in. Now, is it the silver bullet for affordability? No, no one ever said it was. I do not believe it is. If I were a landlord and I had 3 people in one of my homes and there was a 4th bedroom and the ordinance changed and you could have 1 more person, I would charge them the same amount of rent. I wouldn't take what I was making before and divide it by 4, right? I would add.
While this ordinance has been around for many years, still many CSU students and other Fort Collins residents find themselves breaking U+2.
Yeah, I know it's illegal, but I mean, rent is only getting more and more expensive here in Fort Collins. So if you find a landlord that's okay with it, or I mean, even if it's like a last resort, like you have an extra bedroom, like I don't think it's the worst thing in the world to let somebody stay there. There's also ways around it. Like they could stay there for so many days straight, but then they also need to be gone for like a couple days. And then technically they can come right back and they're not living there. So like there's like ways to get around it, kind of some loopholes in the system. Yeah. No, I think it's dumb. No, it made finding a house take months longer than it should have. At first we wanted to live with 4 people because it's quite a bit cheaper to split rent that way. But about a month into trying to find a house, we realized that 90% of the houses here only can have 3 unrelated people that live in it. And this year we have 3, and our rent for each of us is up like $250, $300 each. Living in a house with 4 people was one of the easiest things that we had no issues with it whatsoever the entire time we lived there. Partially because our landlord thought it was also a stupid rule and let us have 4 people in our house.
The U+2 ordinance has sparked a series of important conversations about housing within the community.
And when people come up who've been committed to the U+2 occupancy for a long time say, Jenny, really, why are you thinking about changing this? I said, really? We have an estimate of 15,000 empty bedrooms on our community now, empty, that could be used for people who need places to live.